Alternative, I'm William Cook. I know it's been over 2 months now since this album was released, and here I am finally sitting down to share my review of MGK's latest album. I actually wrote this up over a month ago, but I have just not been a great YouTuber lately. This past year and a half for me of doing the YouTube thing has been a big learning process. And I'm not a very tech savvy guy. I film on my iPhone, and I've been having a lot of video quality issues. But without getting into too many details, I think I've finally found a setup that's working for me here. So if I can do this review without having to worry about things lagging or pixelating, then that just takes a huge weight off of my shoulders. And I'm finally happy to sit down here and share my thoughts on the MGK album that came out 2 months ago. I know the hype's all in the past, and I've definitely missed out on that hype that was surrounding the album 2 months ago, but better late than never, right? So MGK's mainstream Sellout, the sixth album from the rapper turned pop punk revivalist, his second collaboration with Travis Barker following 2020's Tickets to My Downfall. And what I want to do with this review is compare it to Tickets to My Downfall. See if this album is a step forward for MGK or a step back. I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, it's officially his second album going all in on the pop punk approach. But Tickets to My Downfall wasn't the first time that we heard MGK venturing into the rock realm. I jumped on board with MGK as he was continuing to rise in popularity with 2017's Bloom, and while I can't recall 99% of that album, the song Let You Go struck a nerve with me. I was shocked to see him showing off a more rock, guitar-driven approach, and for me at least, it was my first taste of what MGK could offer as more than just a rapper. It was part of my top 100 of the year, and really, it gives me a comforting bit of nostalgia every time I hear it. It wasn't enough to keep me hooked though, as I ended up letting the Binge EP and Hotel Diablo pass me by. It wasn't until Tickets to My Downfall that I got back on board. The album is undeniably a major player or the major player in the resurgence of pop punk into the mainstream, but I did find it to lack some authenticity, and it was a bit too sugary. Now less than 2 years later, he's back with mainstream Sellout, a label I'm sure he's been given by many. And as for myself, I got nothing against MGK. I'm not wild about his brand of pop punk, but his vocals don't bother me the way they seem to bother some people. And there's no denying that he has pulled off some huge hits that have racked up hundreds of millions of streams and are likely to remain staples on pop punk playlists for years to come. Travis Barker helms the production on this one, as was the case with Tickets to My Downfall. He also plays the drums on every track outside of maybe, it turns out the Bring Me the Horizon drummer Matt Nichols plays on that one. And while I'm a little tired of seeing Travis Barker become this go-to guy for pop punk's mainstream revival, he's featured on everything, you can't deny his credibility. Now, the question I want to answer with this video is this album, Mainstream Sellout, a step forward for MGK compared to Tickets to My Downfall? Is this a better album than he gave us 2 years ago? We got 13 songs, not including the interludes, on Tickets to My Downfall, and we have 15 songs minus the interlude on Mainstream Sellout. We'll start with a look at Tickets to My Downfall. Of the 13 songs on that album, there is one that I would call good. We got 4 that I would call great, and then 1 that I love. The song I gave the good rating to is Forget Me Too, with that huge chorus featuring Halsey. You can't deny that big catch. It was a huge radio song. But this one does get tiring pretty fast. And then we have Kiss Kiss, Drunk Face, Bloody Valentine, and My Ex's Best Friend, all great. Kiss Kiss pulls you along the whole way with its snappy drive, and the chorus is a real jumper. And then the following, Drunk Face, holds about the catchiest verses of the album, along with a sing-along chorus that surely resonates with a lot of listeners. My Ex's Best Friend with Black Bear, I believe the second most streamed MGK song next to Bad Things. There's just something about the way that chorus hits with the dark drive, but real bouncy catch. Love that energy. It's unfortunate that the song is cut short after just 2 hooks. And then Bloody Valentine. I think the big sell of this song is that main guitar riff. feels kind of iconic to me, honestly. Just pulling you into the mood of the track instantly. I kind of compare it to some Blink-182 songs like What's My Age Again and Adam's song, where the instant you press play, that guitar hits you and it washes this feeling over you instantly. And yeah, just a smashing running hook on Bloody Valentine that's easily one of the album's strongest moments. And the one song that I love from Tickets is Nothing Inside with Ian Dior. It's the one song of the album that really gets me swooning over the feeling of its chorus. She looked dead into my eyes and she saw nothing inside. Man, that absolutely cuts into me, and it does make for the most unique musical feeling of the album. Here's my ratings for the rest of the tracks. Only a couple that don't do it for me, with several that land in the meh or the pretty good range. It lands the album at a final rating of 6.6. Now, mainstream Sellout, 15 songs versus the 13 on Tickets. 7 of the 15 songs get at least a good rating from me, which is one more than the 6 on Tickets. But I'd say the negatives on this album outweigh the negatives on Tickets, so we'll see how that affects the final score. As for the positives, this album gives me 4 good songs, 2 great, and 1 that I love. Starting with the good, Born with Horns is a very solid opener, notably the first 30 seconds of it. Travis's drums leading us in are wicked, and that first verse, it just makes for a fantastic intro to the album. Drug Dealer gives us that stomping pull with a very infectious hook, while 5150 has a way of pulling me off my feet with its rather soaring chorus. And I quite like the more subdued energy of A real easy pace to this song with its soft trap beat and sweet melody. A nice track to sink into. And while more good songs on mainstream Sellout, not as many great as on Tickets. But God Save Me is definitely one of the strongest of the album. The lyrics in the 2 verses have me more locked in than anything else on the album. I don't often feel MGK in his words like I do with this song. It carries some of the most feeling of the album, along with one of the stickiest hooks. And the other great song comes with the title track. Hard not to get caught up in the energy of this one. When the first chorus comes through, don't tell me you're not feeling it. Simply a big, fun, rocking chorus that I would say defines this album more than anything else. And yes, one song that gets the perfect 4, I gotta give it to Maybe. I'm a chorus guy, and this chorus absolutely flies. It makes for a great rush, has me singing along with more conviction than anything else on the album. You know, it's cool to see Ollie Sykes featured, but it really comes down to that hook, and it just has too much of a pull to it for me not to love it. Now, 8 of the 15 songs on this album couldn't quite reach that good rating for me. That's compared to 7 of the 13 on Tickets, so nearly identical when it comes to the good versus not so good scale. As for mainstream, I wanna like Fake Love Don't Last more. The chorus has a nice pull to it, but I do find MGK's music can sound a little familiar, and this one just doesn't hold that original spark to it. And you know, I'm okay with a song that sounds familiar but still gets me excited, and this one, unfortunately, while it sounds familiar, it just doesn't really manage to get me too excited. Other songs with Make Up Sex and Sid and Nancy, they got some real promise, but similarly to Fake Love Don't Last, they just don't quite manage to ignite that spark in me. Emo Girl actually grew on me a bit. It seems like this is a song that people love to hate, and I was right on board with that kind of hate train when I first heard the song. And while the whole premise of the song is a bit cringy, I think Willow really redeems the song with her verse. I love her delivery, and the chorus really just has an undeniable catch to it. But yeah, not built for many replays, can easily become an ear sore. So after adding up the track ratings, the album lands at a final score of 6.5, falling just 1 decimal point shy of Tickets to My Downfall. So really, if MGK just cut the unnecessary addition of World War IV, then I'd call this album a step above Tickets to My Downfall. But the way things stand, this album is just a hair worse than Tickets to My Downfall. Basically, I guess we can sum it up to nope. This is not a step forward for MGK, hardly a step back. He's barely moved anywhere at all. So there you have it. That's my personal opinion on MGK's venture into pop punk over the past couple of years. We'll see where he decides to take things next. Did I see an article about him possibly going back to doing a rap album? Oh well, I'm not gonna look into it right now. MGK, thank you for another hit and miss album, and thank you for checking this out. Love a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Hit the subscribe for more alternative content, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of MGK's latest album. Love to chat. I'll see you next time.